Hi, this is Adam Ballenger from Salt Lake City, Utah, and Adam Ballenger Yoga. So, the type of yoga that I enjoy studying and practicing the most is Anusara yoga. And one of the unique things about this style of yoga that I've found and that I really enjoy are the principles of alignment. We call them the universal principles of alignment, and that's kind of an important thing that I'm going to touch on in a second. These principles of alignment, when you practice them, you actually practice them in every pose. In fact, for some folks, we'd even say that you practice the principles more than you practice the poses. So if you begin to understand how to align your body balanced with these various principles, then any yoga pose that you step into, you can look at the body and go, how do I typically hold my shoulders? How do I hold my hips? How do I create curve and length in the spine? How do I create openness over here and stability over here? It's a little bit different than some of the other types that I've practiced. Practicing principles is a unique way to look into your yoga practice. Principles can be applied at any moment. So practicing principles allows you to apply these to various different situations. I found in the past that at times I've practiced yoga poses that didn't necessarily translate into other yoga poses, except for possibly just the conditioning, where you get stronger and more flexible. The principles allow you to technically interpret your way into a new yoga pose with greater efficiency. That's one of the things that I really appreciate about Anusara yoga. So, for example, when you tell a student to stand up tall and to lift the heart and lengthen the side bodies and to create just enough tone to support this, there's actually a number of principles that help these pieces of the body align like this, even with the head and the skull. If you've taken an Anusara yoga class, you might have heard of things like skull loop and shoulder loop and kidney loop, or inner and outer spiral. These all indicate how to hold a particular part of the body and balance it with another part. So balance is always the key with these principles. And when a student practices this balance of principles, and again, this is like a skull, a head area, and there's a loop that we'll describe with that. It'd take much longer to describe than right now, but the basic idea is that there's a way to hold your head. And this one principle describes how to hold your head in relation to your shoulders, whether you're in a forward fold or a back bend or a twist. So it has to be applied and balanced. And if a student learns how to do that here, then they can apply those principles, say, to a plank pose, where in general, you hold the body with the similar relationship. It might not be the exact same positioning, but a similar relationship. From plank pose to downward facing dog, and then possibly into something even more challenging, to dolphin pose, where I still hold the shoulders more on the back with the heart broad, the waistline full, and the lower back extended. So a principle about how to hold this part of the body is applied throughout your entire yoga practice. Applying principles to your yoga practice allows you to keep a stream of awareness or consciousness and how you align your body from one pose to the next, even as you move into creative yoga poses that you've rarely done before, or as a teacher introduces a brand new yoga pose. You can step into a brand new yoga pose and go, here's a principle for how I align my hips and create stability through my legs and lengthen through my spine. The universal principles of alignment for Anusara yoga have tremendously helped me in my yoga practice, and I certainly enjoy teaching them and presenting them. Hopefully, this introduction might inspire you to look into studying some of the principles of alignment, or even look into your own style of yoga and see what are some of the principles that I can learn about aligning so that I don't have to learn 300 or 400 or 500 different yoga poses. I can just learn a few principles and refine how I apply those to my yoga postures. The neat thing about the principles is they also tend to apply off of the yoga mat. So things like stability, creativity, and freedom line up with different alignment principles that we practice. So it's also a way to interpret what you do on the yoga mat off the yoga mat. It's a great way to study, and it's a great way to practice. Again, I'm Adam Ballenger from Salt Lake City, Utah, Anusara yoga teacher. I hope you've had a good one. I'll see you soon.